विद्यार्थी भाइ बहिनीहरू रेडियो ट्युसन कक्षामा यहाँहरूलाई हार्दिक स्वागत छ। यस रेडियो ट्युसन कक्षा हामीले सिद्धार्थ मावि, भुटनदेवी मावि, आधुनिक राष्ट्रिय मावि, बालज्योति मावि, ज्ञानदा मावि र त्रिभुवन माविसँगको सहकार्यमा हेटौँडा एफएमले उत्पादन गरेका हौं। आउनुहोस् सुरु गरौं आजको रेडियो ट्युसन कक्षा।
Namaste everybody, it's me Saraswati Adhikari. I am an English teacher of Bhutandevi Secondary School, which is located at Hetauda School Road. So today we are going to start our class 10 English course book. Because of this pandemic situation, all the students are not being able to join our day-to-day classroom. That's why from today, formally, we are going to start our English course of class 10. So in this book, let's give you a short introduction about our English course book. In this book, there are altogether 19 units, and all these 19 units deal with certain language functions. It means in each unit, you can find different types of practical language function which enables us to do something practically or to use language practically. So in first unit, our language function is giving, withholding and reporting permission. This is the first language function of unit 1. It means in this unit, we will be able to give permission, we will also be able to withhold it, and we will also be able to report permission. So few things, few language, practical language ability will be performed in this unit. But before going through that language function, at the beginning of each unit, there is a reading text. It means in first unit, there is a reading text related to the good manners of different countries. It means it is just like an essay. We will be reading that reading text in unit 1. Similarly, in other units, in some units there is a reading text of poem. In some other units there is a debate, there is a memoir. So we will be reading different types of reading text in our course book of grade 10. So, as our first reading text, at the beginning of unit 1, there is a reading text entitled A World Guide to Good Manners. So, how not to behave badly abroad. This is the title of our first unit. And in this unit, we will be reading certain good manners or positive manners of different countries. So as you know, as we all know, dear students, at present we are reading in a global village. So what do you mean by global village? Can you guess? So global village means a small community, just like a small community. In the past, our whole world was not very accessible and we could not go from one place to another place easily. There was the lack of different types of facilities. There was not the facility of technology. We used to feel very difficult to go from one place to another place. There were not proper transportation facilities. Similarly, other communication facility was also very poor in the past. So it was very difficult in the past. But at present, in the 21st century, it has become very easy. Because of the access of technology, because of the access of internet, because of the access of transportation and many more facilities, so this world, this very big world, has changed into a small global village. Because now we are in Nepal, and if we want to go to America or if we want to go to Japan, Korea, it's not very difficult job. And we are living in Nepal, and if we want to get the information or news or current situation of different countries, it is not very difficult task, because we have internet with our access, or we have so many facilities within us. That's why we can easily do whatever we like in very short period of time. So this is called a global village, dear students. Now this whole world has changed into a small global village because of the access of different facilities. Similarly, in this unit, we don't only talk about Nepalese culture, we don't only talk about Nepalese tradition, we don't only talk about Nepalese costume, Nepalese fooding culture, Nepalese drinking culture, Nepalese business culture. Rather, we talk about different countries' greeting culture, we talk about their clothing culture, what kind of clothes do they wear. Similarly, we talk about different countries' fooding and drinking culture. Similarly, we also talk about different countries' business culture. Yes, so this is the World Guide to Good Manners. So we will be discussing about such good manners of different countries. Similarly, how not to behave badly abroad. I am clarifying you the title. It means whenever we go from one country to another country, we should not behave badly. Why? Because if we behave badly, we cannot adjust in that very community or in that very situation. So it is very important to adjust there with good behavior. In this way, how not to behave badly abroad? To answer this question, we must be able to grasp different information about greeting culture, about fooding, drinking, clothing, and also business culture of different countries. And we talk about these things in this very text. So, as our first subtopic, because there are 4 different subtopics in this text, as our first subtopic, we talk about greeting. This is our first subtopic in this text. So, greeting. Are you familiar with this word? What does it mean? What might be the meaning of greeting? Yes, dear students, I hope all of you are very much familiar with this word. Whenever we meet someone, either that person is very familiar with us or unfamiliar, that doesn't matter. What we do? We do greeting. Obviously, whenever someone comes in our house or whenever we meet someone for the very first time, we do greeting. And this culture varies from place to place. It means we Nepalese people, how we do greeting? How do we do greeting? We say namaste or namaskar to the person whom we meet for the very first time. This is our culture. This is the culture of Nepalese people. And there also lies variation, because in Nepal, as we know, Nepal is a multi-ethnic, multi-religious, multilingual country. It means there are different castes, different religion, different types of people, and that greeting culture also differs according to that. So, this greeting culture is different from caste to caste. It means Tamang people may do greeting differently than we Brahmin people perform. Similarly, there is also variation in other caste. So Newar people may do greeting differently. Similarly, Gurung people, Sherpa people, or in Maithili community also, the way of doing greeting is different. But after all, this is our Nepalese culture, and Nepalese have their own type of greeting system. So this text doesn't only emphasize on certain country, it talks about overall different countries. So let me tell you, there is the system of greeting, there is the different system of greeting in America and Canada. So whenever American people or Canadian, they meet for the very first time, they shake their hand very firmly. It means they shake their hands very strongly. So we Nepalese people also shake our hands, no doubt, but Americans and Canadians, their first greeting system is shaking hand very firmly, strongly, and also with eye contact. So eye contact means the person who is doing greeting to another, both of them must have eye contact with each other. So if I am doing greeting to Ram, suppose, so I must look at Ram's eyes and Ram also must look at my eyes. This is called eye contact. And eye contact is the most necessary thing in American and Canadians greeting. So eye contact plus shaking hands. Similarly, in many parts of Asia, so in different parts of Asia, in different countries of Asia, there is no physical contact at all. It means shaking hand, there is physical contact. It means we are touching to somebody, but in different parts of Asia, it is avoided. It means they don't touch others while doing greeting. So what happens in Japan? I want to give you one example of greeting, and this is of Japan. In Japan, how people greet? They should bow. Bowing means just putting down our head or just bowing down our head. So the more you respect the person, the deeper you should bow. It means how much you are bowing. It is according to the respect. So if you are respecting that person very much, or if you want to show your greater respect, then you should bow very deeper. So if you are bowing very deep, it means you are showing your greater respect to that person. Similarly, in Thailand, this is the culture of Thailand, and in Thailand, so greeting is made by pressing both hands together at the chest. So Thailand, there is different idea of greeting. So how do these people greet? In Thailand, they greet each other by pressing both hands together at the chest as if you are praying and bowing your head slightly. It means just like doing namaste or namaskar, bowing down head and joining these palms together. This is the culture of Thailand. So, and finally, in these both countries, in Thailand and Japan, eye contact is avoided as a sign of respect. I have already told you, dear students, in Japan and in Thailand, just they prefer bowing down their head. It means they avoid physical contact, they don't touch each other, and similarly they also avoid eye contact. I have already told you they bow down their head. It means eye contact is not maintained there. So it is completely avoided. Let me So dear students, we were talking about greeting culture of different countries. So let me revise again. Regarding greeting culture, I discussed about American and Canadian culture, where those people shake their hands strongly with eye contact with each other. So it means they have eye contact as well as physical contact. It means shaking their hands. But in Thailand and Japan, this is completely opposite. It means they don't shake their hands and they don't have eye contact. Eye contact is completely avoided because in Thailand and Japan, people bow down their head while greeting with each other. So while bowing down their head, they don't have eye contact and they also should not touch others while doing greeting. So this is the culture of greeting, and this culture is also completely different from country to country. We Nepalese people have different greeting culture, and other countries also have their own identity regarding greetings. Now we are moving towards second topic, which talks about clothes. So to talk about clothing culture, it is also completely different from place to place within same country as well. Let's take an instance. To talk about Nepal, our country is multilingual country, multi-ethnic country, multi-religious country. There are different types of religions, different types of caste, different types of languages spoken by different people. So in our country, we Brahmin people, we have our own clothes style. Similarly, Tamang people, they have their own identity regarding clothes. Newar people, Sherpa people, they have their own way of wearing clothes. So within our country also there is variation, and it means obviously there are lots of variations within different countries. Now especially in this subtopic we are focusing about some Asian and Muslim countries. Especially we are going to discuss about Muslim females. So you may also have heard that Muslim females, they are not allowed to reveal their body parts while wearing clothes. So we have heard in news, and we have also seen their clothes and clothing culture in different media. So how do they wear? They wear a kind of clothes which is called long sleeved tops. So these females, they wear long sleeved tops. This is just like a gown, a kind of gown. And when they wear this dress, they don't show their any body part, even legs, even face, hand, they don't reveal it to others. So these females feel really restricted environment regarding their clothes. And we have also heard that they wear a kind of dress which we call burqa, veil we call in English. So this kind of dress these females wear, and in our reading text also there is the description about these females' clothes. Now we are moving towards shoes culture. So we have our own shoes culture. We Nepalese people also take out our shoes before entering our house or room or other different places. Similarly, we are going to discuss about Japanese culture. In Japan, these people take off their shoes before entering their house or a restaurant. They just take off their shoes, they place it together facing the door. So not only Japan, this is not only true in Japan, it happens in other countries including China, Korea, Thailand and Iran too. In China, Korea, Thailand and Iran also, these people also take off their shoes before entering their house or different places like restaurant or other places as well. So it means this is their culture, this is their shoes culture. Their shoes culture may be different in other countries as well. So it may be true or it may be available in many parts of the countries, in many countries, but especially it is focused in Japan, including China, Korea, Thailand and Iran. So dear students, in this subtopic we discussed about clothes and shoes culture of some particular countries. First of all, we discussed about some Asian and Muslim countries, and especially we focused on the female dresses of such places. We also discussed that these females are supposed to wear long sleeved tops. And we also discussed about shoes culture of different countries. Now let me move towards third subtopic of this reading text. In our third subtopic, this is entitled Food and Drink. So fooding and drinking culture is also different from country to country, place to place and area to area. So let's talk about our own way of fooding and drinking before starting our text. We Nepalese people, we have our own fooding and drinking culture. We Nepalese people generally wake up at about 5-6, and then many of us we don't have breakfast, or if whenever we have, we may have, but we have very light breakfast. Or generally we Nepalese people, we have tea in the morning, and then at about 9-10 o'clock, before rushing towards our job or before going towards our office, or other people may not have their job, and those people also they have their early lunch. It means we have our lunch at about 9-10, very early lunch. It is called very early lunch, but it doesn't happen in so many countries. Let me give you example of Italy, Spain and Latin America. In these countries, lunch is often the biggest meal of the day, and it lasts for 2 to 3 hours. You see, students, we Nepalese people, we have our lunch very quickly. Within 5-10 minutes, we complete our lunch, we finish it, and we rush towards our job. Some of us may have our job, or some of us may not have, and we immediately move towards our own household activities. But in such countries which I discussed just now, like Italy, Spain and Latin America, and other many countries as well, they have their lunch for 2 to 3 hours. It doesn't mean that they continuously have lunch for 3 hours. Dear students, don't have misconception like that. It means they have lunch, and during their lunch they also discuss about so many things. So they may have lunch with their colleagues, or they may have lunch with their friends, and while having lunch they discuss about their business, they discuss about their job, they discuss about their different activities. They may also talk about their family, they may also talk about their activities. So lunch is the time to socialize and relaxation. They have rest, sufficient rest. They also have conversation. It means it is the chance, it provides them opportunity to socialize. So they get chance to talk about so many things during their lunch break. So this is performed in such countries like Italy, Spain and Latin America. Similarly, now we are moving towards the culture of Britain. So what happens in Britain? You might have a business lunch and do business as you eat. So I talked about the same thing previously as well. In Britain also same thing happens. There is also business conversation during their lunch. But in Mexico and Japan, this is completely opposite. What happens in Mexico and Japan? They do not prefer discussion about business and while eating. While having their lunch or while eating, they don't talk or they don't speak about their conversation, they don't have sharing, they don't socialize, they don't have conversation about their business or about their other activities. So they only have their meal, and after finishing their meal, then after finishing that only they start talking about such matters. So this is the culture of Mexico and Japan. So lunch is a time to relax and socialize, and the Japanese rarely drink alcohol at lunch times. So now we are talking about drinking culture as well. So what happens in Japan? In other countries, while having lunch or while having food, drinking alcohol or drinking other items may be allowed. But in Japan, drinking alcohol is strictly restricted. It is strictly prohibited. Japanese people don't drink alcohol at all while having their lunch. They may drink it later, but with their lunch they don't add their alcohol. Now in Britain and US, what happens? It is not unusual to have a business meeting over breakfast, and in China it is common to have business banquets. But you should not discuss business during the meal. So dear students, you should not be so much confused discussing about all these fooding and drinking cultures of different countries. So let me summarize or let me wrap up my idea. I mean to tell, Fooding and drinking culture varies from country to country. It differs from place to place. So, however, our fooding and drinking culture is, it may not be same in other countries. So, however, the Americans have their fooding and drinking culture. It may be completely different in China, or it may be different in India, it may be different in Korea, it may be different in Canada. It means you have to understand that this greeting, clothing, fooding, drinking culture and business culture, so all these things are different from country to country, place to place, area to area, location to location. That's why what you have to understand is that we all Nepalese people, or we all the people living in this world, we are now living in a global village, but it is just like a small village, but our way of living, or our behavior, our habit, our tradition, our culture, our system is not same everywhere. It differs according to the situation. So dear students, this much for today. We have discussed about 3 different subtopics of Unit 1. This is greeting, clothing, fooding and drinking culture. Now remaining business culture and other extra tips will be discussed in tomorrow's class. So study well and keep reading, keep practicing. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Have a good day. Bye bye.
विद्यार्थी भाइ बहिनीहरू, आजका लागि रेडियो ट्युसन कक्षाको समय यति नै। कोरोना भाइरसको संक्रमण बढ्दै गएसँगै ठप्प भएको पठन पाठन र विद्यार्थी भाइ बहिनीहरूको पढ्ने लेख्ने बानीलाई यस रेडियो ट्युसन कक्षाले कायम राख्नेमा हामी विश्वस्त छौं। अहिलेका लागि भने कार्यक्रम निर्माण टोलीका सम्पूर्ण सहकर्मीहरू बिदा हुन्छौं। नमस्कार।